Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're looking at sockeye salmon fillet, which is the fresh caught. Also, we're looking at the farm raised, farm fed, or farm raised, I guess. $7.99 for what, 6 ounces? And this bad boy was $27. Man, to eat well, you have to spend money, I guess. And also this guy, it's a salmon roll, sushi salmon roll, and I got it at my local sushi place here. It's a pretty good place, but I wanted to compare these three. Like, when you order sushi, what's the consistency? How good is this compared to the real stuff? When I say real, I'm talking farm raised to the freshly caught. And I bought this at Sprouts. I didn't go out there and catch it myself. Let's open it up. We'll take a look. Let's do one at a time here. Wow, this sucker, that's nice. Let me move these out of the way. Right now, you guys, it's cold to the touch. It feels like, wow, this is a nice fish. Yes, this is a wild Alaskan sockeye salmon fillet. And if you want to talk about pure, this looks pure. And let me smell it. Yeah, of course, it smells fishy, but not that bad. It smells very fresh. Hopefully you guys can see this. Anyways, we'll cut it. All right, we're going to the farm raised, and let's open this up. Let's see what we got. I can smell it immediately. I don't know why they put it in plastic. So this is the farm raised. Feels really cold to the touch. Smell is, of course, fishy, but you know when you smell bad fish compared to good fish, but it smells really good. There's one, there's the second one here. I'll put it back on the plastic. I know it's plastic, but we're looking at the structure of the meat. Last one is this guy right here, sushi. What I'm gonna do is take this off right here. Take the lemon off. Lemons are good, but not for this experiment. And I'm gonna take off the salmon. Yeah, of course, it's gonna be different than what I just showed you, but I wanna look up what's inside. Okay, we're gonna cut into this guy first. I mean, can you see that? So we're paying a lot of money for sushi. I love sushi, don't get me wrong, but you have to eat a bunch of this stuff. All right, so you've seen the consistency. Let's move over to the wild cut. I'm gonna make a cut across here, like so. I'm cutting against the grain, so it's gonna be a little rough. Wow, it feels solid, you guys. For all you fish lovers out there, the skin, of course, is tough on the backside. I'll show it to you guys. Very nice fish here. See that? It's cold to the touch, feels solid. Looks like it's a really good piece of filet here. $27 filet. So I'm gonna cook this tonight. All right, there's that sample. We're moving over to the farm raised, and this is still good, man. This is really nice. So notice the color difference between the fresh caught and the farm raised. Here's the farm raised. Here's the wild caught. Let's see here. The color difference. See it? I mean, yeah, they're the same type of fish, but let's cut into this guy. I'll show you what's on the inside. Of course, you guys already know that, but I just wanted to give you like a visual here. Yeah, the skin's tough. Tough. Wow. Okay. So there we go. So what do you think? This looks really good. I mean, nice and cold to the touch. Skin looks very nice. This is farm raised, but still paying a lot of money for this. All right, let's go to the microscope and look at the muscle striations, and we can see the difference. Let's go. Okay, let's have some fun with this. So I'm gonna mix these up. Sample A, sample B, and sample C. You guys guess which one is which. So let me know in the comments. And here we go. Here's sample A. Okay, we're at 40 times magnification, and right away I can see these long bands of muscles running across the sample. Do you guys see it? There are also a few round areas mixed in that stand out from the rest of the tissue. So at this magnification, I'm just trying to get a feel for the overall structure before we zoom in closer. So far, nothing really surprises me, but that usually changes once we start increasing the magnification. So I bumped up to 100 times magnification, and you can really start to see the muscle fibers coming into focus. Everything still looks pretty consistent across most of the sample. So over here near the edge, the tissue looks a little compressed, but that's pretty normal when you're preparing a microscope slide. So let's keep zooming in because that's usually when the crazy stuff starts to show up. Let's take a peek. Okay, we're 1,000 times, and now we're seeing a level of detail that's impossible to see with the naked eye, of course. The muscle fibers are packed together in these really fine parallel lines. You see it? And this area looks pretty uniform from one side of the image to the other. We've still got 2 more samples to look at before we reveal which one this actually is. So in the comments, take a guess. Let's move on to sample B. Okay, here we are, sample B at 40 times. And right away, this one looks a little different than the first sample. The muscle is still running in long bands, but it almost looks a little more spread out in some areas. I'm also seeing a few more rounded pockets scattered throughout the slide. Whether that's from the sample itself or just how the slide came together, we'll get a better view as we zoom in. So far, nothing's giving away what the sample is, but let's take a closer look. Okay, we're 100 times magnification, and you can really start to see the muscle fibers taking shape right here. Some sections look nice and organized, while others, they have a softer appearance. Can you guys see it? One thing that catches my eye is how the fibers seem to blend together in a few spots instead of staying sharply defined. So let's keep going up. Let's bump it up to 1,000 times. Here we are. So one thing I'm looking for is whether these muscle fibers stay lined up. When they do, it's easier to see the natural structure of the meat. If this tissue were much more broken down, you'd expect these lines to become harder to follow. They could look disrupted, fragmented, or just lose that organized pattern. In this field of view, though, the fibers are still pretty easy to trace from one side to the next, but I've seen like chicken McNuggets or nuggets where it looks like a bomb went off. So this one is looking okay. Here's sample. I see it 40 times in. So right away, this one looks a little different. There's a lot going on in this image. I can still see the muscle running through it, but there are also these little round pockets scattered all over the place. So let's zoom in and see what's going on. So, okay, we're at 100 times in. That's a little better. I can actually start following the muscle fibers. You guys see it? They're becoming a lot easier to see, and I'm starting to get a better idea of how this tissue is put together. So let's keep going. So we're at 400 times. There we go. This is where it starts getting cool. You see these lines running through the muscle? Those are muscle fibers. When those fibers stay lined up like it is, it tells me the muscle structure in this area is still intact. That's a good sign. If this tissue had really started breaking down, these lines would be a lot harder to follow. They'd look more torn up, almost scrambled together like a chicken nugget instead of running side by side. This one still has a pretty clean pattern. So I'm curious to see how it stacks up against the other two once we put them side by side. So I think we're ready for the rotifers. Do the rotifer test on sample A. Take a look at those little tiny swimmers. They're very fast. They appear to be a protozoa, which are single-celled organisms that live in freshwater, soil, and just about any place that stays wet. Even though they're made of just one cell, they're incredibly active. They spend their lives searching for food, avoiding predators, and responding to changes in their environment. So here's what I did with this experiment. I took a piece of the fish of sample A, put it in a bowl, put some distilled water in it, and just mixed it and smashed it together to where it's a solution. And I'm gonna introduce this solution on the right side of the screen, and it's gonna move left. So take a look at this. There it is, see it? Right there. Now watch his reaction. And the rotifer's number one defense is they'll curl up in a ball, and they'll stay there for a while until the environment improves. Looks like this guy, he notices his environment has changed, and it looks like he's trying to fill out the area first, but I don't see him going into a ball, which is a good sign. Not that I really expect a bad thing, introducing a fish solution to this guy, but I think this is just cool to see their rotifer's reaction. So let's go ahead and move over to a sample B rotifer and see how he fares. So a little bit about the rotifer. They've been around for millions and millions of years. And what he's doing now is actually feeding. They eat algae, microscopic debris, and you see those things spinning around in the front? Those are called cilia. And it creates a vortex, and it sucks all the debris in, as you can see. It's pretty cool. The thing right behind the cilia is called the mastix. And that's like his teeth. And behind that is his stomach. So get ready, here comes the blast from right to left. Let's watch sample B rotifer's reaction. And boom, there, wow. I hit him so hard that I blew him from all the way to the left side of the screen. So let me look, there he is right there. So a little bit too much, but it looks like he's doing okay. He recuperated, and again, it's fish solution, so I don't see a really crazy adverse effect. But like I said, it's cool to see the reaction, and this rotifer is doing fine. He's still foraging, he's still eating. And let's see if I can zoom in to 400 times to give you a better look. So there he is. See his cilia spinning, creating that vortex. And so it's pretty cool. Let's move to sample C, last one, and see how he fares. Okay, same thing. Here he is. It's going from right to left, so watch your screen. And here it comes. There it is. You guys see it? And that's a quick wave of sample C solution, fish solution. Can you guess which one it is? And it looks like he's still eating, foraging. Not too bad. So again, guys, this is just a visual. I just wanted to let you know how these rotifers, how they do with the salmon. So So before we exit the salmon presentation, I caught the same rotifer at 400 times and he stayed here for a long time. So I think it's another great way to show you guys how her body actually works. So again, in the front, his or her mouth, it's a cilia and on each side of his mouth, and the cilia spins in opposite directions. So it creates a vortex. From there, it pushes it down to the mastex, which is his jaw or teeth. And then from there, you'll see that thing moving. Well, that's his muscle. And that muscle pushes it down to his stomach. And so there you go. Now let's go check out which samples are which. Well, it's time to reveal the answers, you guys. We finally made it. Did you guess it right? Sample 1 was the farm-raised salmon. Did you guess it right? Sample 2 was the sushi roll salmon. Did you guess that one? And sample 3 was the wild-caught salmon. Honestly, I thought all 3 samples were really cool under the microscope. Each one had its own fingerprint. Some had more visible fat, some had muscle fibers that looked more defined, and some had a more uniform structure. But here's the important part. A microscope only shows us one piece of the puzzle. It can't tell us how the fish tastes, how fresh it is, or its complete nutritional value. Out of the 3, the sample that impressed me the most under the microscope was sample C, the wild caught, because its muscle structure looked the most organized, consistent, and well-defined. Now, I want to know, before I reveal the answers, which samples did you think was a wild-caught salmon? And be honest, you guys, did you guess it right? Let me know down in the comments. And if there's anything you want to put under the microscope, leave that down there below too. Guess what? If you want to see rotifers actually get drunk, check out that video. It's pretty cool. And thanks for watching. Be good to yourself and others.